Hey everyone, Matt here from Docs Running, and today we're going to do a comparison review of two popular stability shoes on the market, the ASICS Gel Kayano 32 versus the ASICS GT-2000 14. So both these, again, as I mentioned, have been very popular in the stability shoe world for many, many years. They're still around in the 30-second version, and although this is for 14, it's actually been around longer than that. So they've really been on feet for a long period of time of many, many different people over many different versions. Now, they've also changed quite a bit in their last versions. The last two previous iterations of each one of these were fairly similar design, little upper change, and then you go to the 14 and 32, massive updates, and parts of these shoes feels like they switch places. So for that reason, given their popularity, you may be looking at these, and if you are, the goal of this review is to help you figure out which one might be better for you, because they are quite different. While they do share some similarities, they are extremely different. So as always, we're first going to get into specs. We'll talk about the ride, stability, upper fit, and then finish this out. So in terms of specs, these are really different. So in my men's size 10, the ASICS GT 2014 is the lighter of the two of these. It's coming in at 9.8 ounces or about 278 grams compared to the Gel Kayano 32, which is coming in at 11 ounces or 310 grams. So over an ounce heavier over in the Gel Kayano. Doesn't necessarily feel like that, and we'll talk about that in just a second, just based on some transitions in the heel. From a stack height perspective, also different. Still more in the moderate to slightly high category with the GT 2014, coming in at 36.5 in the heel, 28.5 in the forefoot for an 8mm drop. And as I mentioned in the review video, the Kayano is also dropping to an 8mm. It's got 40mm in the heel, 32 in the forefoot, and so that's a really big change for this shoe, as are the many other changes with it. But the biggest differences between these two shoes, not just in the upper, but it's really going to be in the ride, especially in the heel. Previous versions of the Kayano really had a pretty clunky heel. The front half was pretty good, but just a lot of posterior heel flare, which means the thing is sticking out behind the back, not a great bevel. That really changed. This is the best transitioning heel of any Kayano that I've ever put on, and I've run on probably 15, 20 years worth of Kayanos. It is really good. It feels great no matter what speed you're going. It does work better for slower transitions and easy runs, but really great transition. That is really different from the GT 2014, which the last two versions were actually starting to improve. It was better than previous ones. This one, there's a lot of posterior flare that you can see here, and it makes the heel really clunky, enough that I have gotten miles on this because I know it's popular, but the heel transition's not great. It's going to be better for those that maybe land a little bit more forward, maybe going a little bit slower, or those who land farther forwards. Is going to be better in terms of the transition versus the Kayano. No matter where you land, this thing is going to be really smooth. And it's, again, because not as much posterior heel flare, doesn't stick out the back as much, and this nice groove helps this thing really nicely collapse as you go forward. It feels like a very nice cushion ride. Now, moving forwards, they're different. While the front of the shoe is going to be a little bit stiffer than the Kayano because there's higher stack height, the G2014 has a little bit more flexibility and is a little bit snappier. This is going to be Flightfoam Black's Max, which is just a tad firmer and a tad bouncier compared to the Flightfoam Blast Plus Eco over in the Kayano, which is a little bit softer, a little bit smoother transitioning, which makes sense because this is the more premium, more relaxed shoe. This is going to be the more kind of slightly more versatile training shoe, and that is how it feels, right? If you get up farther past the heel, this shoe is snappier. It can definitely handle a little bit more versatility in terms of paces. I've done workouts in this shoe. It's not the lightest shoe, but it is the lighter of the stability shoes that are out there, and it can handle some up-tempo work and a little bit of workout stuff. Kayano can't do that. It's going to transition much more easily with long runs and easy runs. That's really where it's best for. It's a little bit too big and a little too heavy for faster workouts, and that's where the place of the GT-2000 is going to be. So if you want something that's a little bit faster with a little more versatility, it's still a trainer, it's on the lighter end, GT-2000 is going to be better. It's going to be a teeny bit firmer because it's getting slightly lower and slightly different foam. The Kayano is going to be better for your easy and long run shoes if you want a little bit softer ride and a little bit more relaxed ride with a better heel transition. And that difference continues in where this one actually tends to switch the role and be a little bit more intense in terms of stability, which is what it was supposed to be. And when I initially tried the 2014, it felt like this was the more aggressive stability shoe. That has changed as things have broken in. So durability-wise, the Kayano is the one that's lasting quite a bit better. Outsole Y is doing really, really well. I have 150 miles on my pair and I still haven't torn the outsole off. In this version in the GT-2000, I have 70 miles, and I'm starting to wear through the Blast Max, which that's kind of how these things go. So fairly average durability over the GT-2014. The Kayano's got a little bit better durability, and it's probably just a little bit of the sole aspect. But the stability also has better durability over in the Kayano. And what you'll feel when you put both these on, and what's interesting is the stability has gotten more aggressive in these. Previous versions was becoming kind of more stable neutral, losing a little bit of that aggressive medial stability. It went the opposite direction with these, where especially Kayano and GT-2014, you're going to feel medial stability pushing you laterally the full length of both from the heel to the forefoot. So if you need stability along any line, these are both going to do well. It is more aggressive and hangs around longer in the Kayano. And the other thing is the 4D guidance system refers to the fact that there's a bouncier foam in the midfoot so that when you do pronate, it's going to bounce you out. So this one is definitely not going to work for people with lateral stability needs. And the G2000 won't work either. It's just a little bit lighter stability as it breaks in. Now, is it still aggressive? Yeah. The guidance system basically means that outside of this little piece, the internal geometry is set up so that the more you collapse and compress the foam, there's internal cubes or like geometry inside the shoe which will collapse and provide more resistance to certain directions. It's supposed to be providing it in both directions, but you're going to feel these push you out a lot more throughout the length of the shoe. So this version, you're going to feel it more aggressively in the heel and the midfoot. This, you're going to feel it throughout the length of the shoe. This one breaks in a little bit more. This one holds on a little bit longer and a little bit more consistently. But both are fairly aggressive stability shoes, kind of in that moderate to higher range if that's something you need. And like I said earlier, if you have lateral stability needs, neither one of these are going to be really great options. Even though they do have stable neutral components like wide soles, they have some lateral what are these sidewalls, but really it's the medial stuff that you almost can't see that's doing the most stuff. So more aggressive hangs on longer, more aggressive beginning and starts to ease up a little bit, but still pretty aggressive in the heel and midfoot. So just be aware of that. So those that need it, it's gonna be great. Those that don't, this may not work for you. In terms of fit, these are also really different. So they switch places a little bit where the Kayano used to be the wider fit, the GT-2000 used to be slightly snugger, they switched. So the GT-2000 now has a little bit more open fit, a little bit higher volume. It's still not the widest shoe on the market, but it's on the normal to slightly wider fit, especially in the forefoot. Midfoot, heel are fairly normal in width. The Kayano is a little bit more snug. It's not super narrow, but it's snug enough that for when I wear these for long periods, the GT-2000 feels better for longer standing for me because I have a little bit wider foot and I want a little bit more room. The sole feels better over in the Kayano, but upper is going to work better for people that have slightly narrower feet or just want a little bit more snug and secure rides. Nothing wrong with the GT-2000. It's just going to be different fits for different feet. Heel counters are another thing to pay attention to. I've really noticed the heel counter over here. So if you want some stiffness, GT-2000 is going to work better. If you want a little padding and you got a sensitive heel, the Kayano is going to work better. So really, while stability ideas are getting similar, really polar opposites in a lot of ways. Softer, better for easy runs, a little bit firmer, not as good of a heel transition, but it can pick up the pace a little bit better, a little bit firmer, bouncier midsole. Upper fit is going to be a little bit snug over here, teeny bit wider over here, and then stability-wise, this is going to last longer with full-length medial support that really stays consistent, whereas the G2014 is going to be pretty aggressive early on, and then we'll ease up just a little bit, but still have both a wedge-like feeling, which means that you're going to feel like your feet are getting pushed out laterally. Some people are going to do really well with that have medial stability needs. Other people, it's not going to work as well. I'm always curious, by the way, to know, hey, which of these are your favorite? Have you had similar experiences to this, or you experiencing something completely different? The Kayano is honestly my stability shoe of the year thus far. It's not the lightest shoe, but it's been so comfortable, and I keep grabbing it when I have other shoes I need to get miles on, just because I like it so much. GT-2000, that heel's really making it difficult for me. I'll know a lot of people are going to really enjoy this shoe. That transition at the heel is just killing it for me. So I'm really curious to know, hey, are your experiences different? Are they similar? Please let us know in the comments, because I'm not just doing this for me, I'm doing this for all of you to hopefully put out good content that helps you figure out what works for you. As always, Doctors Running is not about selling you shoes. It's about educating you and helping you figure out what shoe is going to work best for you. We're not trying to sell you shoes. We're trying to get you educated to help you make better decisions about the things that you put on your feet so that you can go out there, run, stay healthy, and enjoy what's supposed to be a simple sport.